Hi, welcome to Best Friends. Thanks so much for joining us. I wanted to introduce you to two of my friends who have been sharing the office with me for the last several weeks. These two adorable little budgies are available for adoption, and they would make a great asset in a non-smoking household. We don't place birds in smoking households because birds have air sacs instead of lungs, and they can be adversely affected by cigarette smoke approximately 7 times more than humans can. And so with that little caveat, they make terrific pets. This is a beautiful little spayed female that is a snowshoe pattern color point. As you can see, she's a seal point with strategic splotches of white, and that's what makes her a snowshoe. She also has the typical blue eyes of the color point. Just a lovely, lovely cat. Great temperament, good personality, and seems quite healthy. She came to us with absolutely no fleas, which is both a surprise and an excellent cue to the fact that she has had humans who loved her, and we certainly hope that she will again. But she is just a wonderful kitty. She even does well with camera. Now, goodness, how much more could you ask of a cat? Photogenic and a sweet temperament? My, that's a package. Yes. This is a kitten. As you can see, it's a buff colored male, and he has his very own mouse that he is very fond of and takes it wherever he goes. So you get a mouse and a kitten for the investment of a kitten. Of course, this is a special mouse, pink with silver sparkles, so I can see why he would carry it with him everywhere. Anyway, this little guy is also an absolute purring machine. He is just as affectionate and snuggly as a kitten can be. And right now he is fixated on the cage of, what are those? Gerbils, I think. Probably gerbils. At the end of the counter, if it's moving, and he can see a tail sticking out of the little gerbil house there, it is really important. Hey, this one has a tail too. This little girl is one of our previous adoptions. She came back to us because the family said she was having difficulty using her litter pan, and it's a good time to talk about that. This is a kitty that is fairly shy, and her litter pan is going to have to be in a part of the house that isn't heavily trafficked, and she has to be in a spot where she doesn't have any anxiety about getting to the litter pan, and that can happen with a cat. Some cats don't do well with covered litter pans. I know my little foster kitty that I have at home couldn't deal with a covered litter pan and wouldn't use it, but as soon as I took the cover off, she was fine. So when a cat doesn't use a litter pan, you don't just give up. There's usually a reason that's going on. Truly, there are some cats who have an absolute litter pan aversion, and if that's the case, then things are a little more serious. but in most cases, it is a problem that you can work with. Like with most behaviors in animals, there's a reason for them. They don't happen in a vacuum. Anyway, she is a lovely cat. She also has some mats. She hasn't been brushed very much, and I think that possibly that's because she is very shy, and that comes across as aversion to handling. But as you can see, once she feels a little more secure, being petted and handled gently, working with the mats over a period of time rather than trying to do them all at once is usually the key for these guys. Not everybody comes with the same personality, and heavens, wouldn't the world be a dreary place if everything were the same? This is Winco. Winco was found in the Winco parking lot, and that's why she is named that. She is, however, a delightful cat. I really like the little black freckles on her nose. One of our kitty volunteers was cleaning them off of her nose before she realized that they were very much a part of her nose. And it's something that we often see with orange cats. I think it's kind of funny because red-headed people often have a reputation for freckles, you know, and so do orange kitties. My orange kitty at home has freckles like that too, and it's kind of like a skin thing. One thing goes with the other with that color pattern. She also has a crooked tail. It is shaped just like the number 7, which would be a good name for her too, but it comes across with a kind of a poof on the end of it. She's a sweet girl and probably would be a great mouser, judging from her reaction to the gerbils that we have here. Isn't this a striking tortoiseshell? She came to us with a full complement of fleas and mites and all of those other insect hangers-on. Or I guess those are actually arachnids, but we won't talk about that because ew. Anyway, she has been through treatments to vacate all of those, and now all that is left is a primo cat. She is a wonderful personality. She has beautiful markings. She's just purring like a little motorboat as I pet her, and I think she'd make a great addition to a family. I don't think that she's going to be particularly concerned about children. She's a very gentle cat, but she's not terribly jumpy. This is a 1.5-year-old spayed female who's been in our foster care system for quite a while. She has a lovely personality. I think that if you want a mouser, she's a really good bet for that. I wouldn't suggest her if you want to have birds in your house as well. She has definitely got some prey drive going there. In fact, I'm having to hold on to her or these gerbils are going to be goners. So, yeah, great cat for that. As long as you want a cat who is, yeah, this one's a hunter, okay? She needs to be an indoor cat or you're going to decimate the bird population around your house. But she will take care of any mice that you happen to have. And if you don't have mice, then you're going to be required to get the stuffed kind so she has something to play with. Right? Yes, I thought so. This beautiful little kitty with the rather distinct markings is one of a litter of 3. All 3 of them have black patterns on the top of their head, which I find just very endearing. It's something you see occasionally with all white cats. In Texas, I had a relative who had a cat, and of course over the years, because this was a very long time ago, they did not do as much spaying and neutering as we do now, and these particular cats produced kittens that were absolute carbon copies of themselves. Of course now we would recognize as a recessive gene pool, but they had little black ditto marks on the top of their head, and so you could always tell which kitties came from the hunt place because they were marked. And I've often seen in Washington this kind of patterning in white cats. I think it's really cute. This one really looks like he's wearing a coonskin cap, like Davy Crockett. Very, very personable bunch of kitties. Very playful, really enjoy toys and human company and affection. If you want to adopt a cat that gets along with other cats, I think that these guys would probably be a good bet. This is Sissy. Sissy's brother is Bubba, and they are just absolutely wonderful kittens. Older kittens, slightly older, not much. Gorgeous coat, silvery, shiny gray. You can see it's a very easy care coat. It's just as thick as velvet, and just a great asset for any household, I think. A very confident little cat. In fact, one of the visitors accidentally put this one into a cage with another cat, and it took us a while to figure out, because instead of giving us any cues to that situation like most cats would, she was just sitting there looking at us. So it was kind of amusing. This one too. You would think that we keep gerbils on the counter to figure out for you which ones are going to be mousers and which ones aren't. Well, it worked with this one. Definite interest there. These are two of our gerbils. We have more. This isn't a very good cage setup for gerbils. We need to give them a little less in the way of shavings, a little more in the way of exercise, I think, and they have buried their food supply. Oh well, they know where it is. People often consider getting gerbils and hamsters for young children as first pets, and I really would discourage that. These guys are fascinating if you have somebody that enjoys watching them, but they're primarily nocturnal, which means that you don't get to see them very often. And the other thing is that they often bite. And while I think they're fascinating to watch, generally that's not why you get pets for a young child. Children are very tactile, and they want to be able to touch and hold objects. And they're also accustomed to stuffed animals rather than live ones, and so that can be sort of problematic too when you have a very small, fragile live one, because obviously they're going to bite in defense. So rats, if you're looking at rodents, make a pretty good first pet. They tend to be a little more reluctant to bite, and they can be fascinating pets, and they're also very trainable. They do tricks and things, and while I'm sure you can train a gerbil, it would probably be a little harder. So we have gerbils and we have hamsters. We have one hamster that is pretty much as round as a tennis ball. Not something I would encourage, but it is interesting. And I believe we do have another set of gerbils as well. So, they really are cute. Stick with us. We're going to go visit some dogs now. Welcome to our Get Acquainted area in our dog adoption rooms. This is Bentley. Bentley is 3. Bentley is, we are told that he gets along well with other dogs and very well with children. I would usually check twice before I considered Bentley and cats, but Bentley is a very personable, clearly purebred Queensland Blue Heeler. He has a beautiful blue merle coat, when that's the name of this color pattern. We see it in a number of breeds, but it is almost completely typical of our healers. You see it in Aussies too. Bentley is a very cool guy. His owners had to move, which is something that we hear frequently these days, and they brought Bentley to us to rehome, and I'm glad they did, because I think Bentley is capable of being a terrific family dog, and is a really nice, he's a pleasure to rehome. Remember, he is a herding breed, and as a herding breed, he's going to need a fenced yard, or actually healers can do pretty well in a house. The only thing is that they have to have lots of exercise, and a fenced yard is a very good idea for them. They are a thinking dog. Like most of our herding breeds, they need to be kept busy. You would want to take Bentley through training. You would want to take him to the dog park. You would want to make sure that he has the opportunity to go jogging with you, or whatever you do for exercise. It may not be jogging, just walking is fine. But our herding breeds are very bright, essentially very intelligent dogs, and if you don't give them something to do, they will make up their own games, and the object of those games might be kind of a problem for humans. So it's really best to make sure that they aren't bored. I know, and no, I'm not going to let you go. Right. Yes, that's just rude of me, isn't it? I know. But anyway, consider Bentley. Come visit. He has a great coat. It looks like it's bristly, but it's not. It's just very soft. This is Katie. Katie actually has a very soft mouth, and she has a beautiful head. She's very pretty. Yes, she is. She's also very hungry, which would make her very easy to train. And she's very inventive and very bright. I'm not quite sure what went into the making of Katie. It looks like part of it's probably lab, but there's something else in there. Maybe hound, maybe pointer, something else. She is a sweetheart of a dog. She gets along well with other dogs. Again, I think she's a little prey-driven to trust her around a cat. You definitely want to check that out first. She has a wonderful, short, easy care coat. She has a terrific disposition. She's going to need a lot of exercise, and I would certainly recommend a fenced yard. If you don't have that, there are other ways of dealing with it, but that's the best way. And since that's the primo way, we would really recommend it. We know that Katie is a little bit on the barky side, and She may even have some hound or pointer in there because those ears are way too huge for lab. And yet she doesn't have a particularly calm disposition. So that exercise is really a primo responsibility when you have a dog like Katie. But a lot of attention and love is pretty primo too, and she really enjoys it. This is a dog that you're going to invest time in, and as long as you do that investing carefully, you're going to get an awful lot back. Training would probably work well with Katie too, because she is such an incredibly bright dog. She's going to figure out how to get what she needs, whether you help her with it or not. So it'd be best to help her with it. This is Nicholas. Nicholas has one of the most endearing faces. He's a wire-haired fox terrier, a neutered male, and probably there's something in there besides wire-haired fox terrier. We aren't sure what. Maybe very large fox terrier. I don't know. Anyway, Nicholas is quite a kick. He's a funny guy. Not only does he have a lovely, easy care kind of attractive coat, he also is very human-oriented. Our volunteers just love him. He does well on the trail, and I think he'd do well in a family with at least older kids. I'm not sure I'd want him around little bitty ones, because he is, like our other two offerings, kind of energetic, even for a 7-year-old. I think he's just cute. He looks like Benji. Don't you? Yes, you do. You talking to me? You're talking to Heather, aren't you? Yes, you are. Okay. There, look pretty for the camera. Tell them how gorgeous you are. See how gorgeous you are? There. Oh, pose. This is Zipper. Zipper went through a whole day of nose work classes and did so well. Zipper is 6 years old. She's a spayed female, like a smaller version of Nicholas. She looks just like him. She is great with other dogs. She is a terrific companion dog. I like this little girl. I think she is just wonderful. She would make a terrific family pet for almost anybody. She is high energy in the kennel, but when you take her out, she calms down pretty readily. Just a nice little dog. Small enough to be a good house dog, which of course you would probably want her to be. But she can go for walks with you and still and get enough exercise, I think. And very bright. If you invest in some training time, nose work is a good way to go. The dogs really focus and use up a lot of that intelligence and energy that they come with, and it's very fulfilling for them, which is also kind of fun for their human. Who could resist a face like that? She is so adorable. Yes, you are. Look at you. You're just cute as a button, or as a zipper in this case. This is between 1 and 2 years old, so she's really a puppy still. She's a rat terrier. We typically shorten that to rat, and just has a meltingly wonderful disposition. Kind of surprising for a terrier, really. She's a gentle, sweet little dog and is going to be very soft to train. So she's a really good bet for somebody who really wants to spend some time training a dog. She's a very bright little thing and very cuddly. So a good family dog, a good one-person dog, typically high energy level for any terrier. I keep saying that. I can't think of anything that's more important to a dog than having regular exercise. And there's some households that kind of build that in with sets of stairs and the willingness to play ball and do things like that, whether it's in the house or outside the house. And one nice thing about a smaller dog is they can get in an awful lot of exercise within walls, which in Washington can be important because, gosh, you know, right now we have wonderful weather, but a lot of the year we don't. So the thing is, they do definitely have to have exercise and things to do. Otherwise, just like any kid, they'll turn to behaviors that aren't as pleasant. And unfortunately, in my job, I'm in a position to see those behaviors crop up and cause problems. So we don't want that to happen to any of the ones that we place, and that's why I keep talking about it. She's a great little girl. Come by and meet her. We're here at 3120 Martin Way. We're open Tuesday through Saturday. Our hours are 9:30 to 6 o'clock every weekday, Tuesday through Friday, and 9:30 to 3:30 on Saturdays. We have some wonderful animals. Come by and find someone to share your life with.